In today's video, I'm going to give you a bunch of tips and tricks for new players coming to SS13. Space Station 13 is the most amazing, emergent, multiplayer game on the market today. And you might have heard about this game from other popular content creators. Moist Critical has mentioned he played the game, and a lot of people from his community are moving over and trying it. Well, these tips will help you out to be the best player you can be. The very first tip is pick a good noob-friendly medium roleplay server, MRP. Also, a low RP server could be good for you too, but just understand that they are basically free fire zones, and you might just die randomly in them, but they are also good to start. HRP, which is heavy roleplay servers, are going to be way too serious for beginners, and you'll probably get in trouble by using internet slang in your speech. For example, if you type LOL on a heavy RP server, you're going to get in trouble. And this leads to my second tip of roleplay, and always type and talk to people. You can get away with a lot more if you have a good story behind what you're doing, or even just talking to players, telling them you're new at the station, new on the job, and people are generally very helpful in this game. It's always better to be talking and letting people know that you are the new guy on the station. Tip number 3 is kind of a security issue with the hub of Beyond. Just be aware when you're looking through servers that you can click join and go into the server you're playing, but bad actors have put fake links up sometimes in order to harvest your player key and use your player key for themselves to get banned or keep doing shenanigans. Then one day you might just be banned, and it's not even your fault. The best advice is to click on their Discord to join through that, or join through their wiki pages, which always have links to the servers and are very helpful to tell you if the servers are populated or not. Tip number 4 is the most important in my opinion, and the wiki is your best friend. Every server has their own Wikipedia. They are all very well maintained and very well written, and I actually enjoy reading all of them. When I'm bored or sitting on the toilet, instead of reading a newspaper, I read the Space Station 13 wiki. It's also good to have your phone or a second monitor with the wiki open for whatever job you're playing. This will have recipes for you to use, things for you to do, different explanations on the equipment you have, and generally the wiki is your best friend. I suggest starting small. For example, if you're a chef, learn a few basic recipes, maybe write them down in a notepad, have them up or print it out, and these will be like your beginner recipes in your wheelhouse. Every round you will learn a little bit more, you will memorize some things, some recipes, and naturally this is the way to do it, because going in blind is definitely hard mode for this game. Use the wikis. Tip number 5 is find a good starting job. Obviously, for your sanity and sake of fun, pick a job that sounds fun to you. Do I recommend starting off as a captain right away? Absolutely not. It is always funny to have the new guy be the captain, but you might not have a good time. And the complete opposite is people say play assistant as a beginner, but I disagree. First of all, nobody will take you seriously, because in the year 2023, assistants have become a job for elites who have played for years and have retired to this position to avoid job responsibilities. The term gray-tide or gray-tiders in the year 2023 is not the same as it was 10 years ago, with massive waves of assistants flooding the station, destroying everything. Now it is used for these elites to basically circumnavigate any type of tasks or responsibility, and they still gray-tide around the ship, stealing everything in power gaming. But if you do pick assistant, you need to go to the head of personnel, ask him to be assigned to a department as an intern, to basically get clearance on your ID so you can open up doors, or go around to these different jobs and ask them to shadow and be an assistant. Tell them you're new on the station. You can go to the chef and ask to be a waiter or a sous chef. You can help out the bartender deliver drinks. You can go to cargo and ask to be a mailman delivering mail around the station. Definitely very helpful for you to learn the way around the ship and in general learn more and more. Every round you are going to learn more. That's the beauty of this game. My personal best jobs for starting out, that's not an assistant helping out another department, would be janitor number 1. The janitor is a very low responsibility job that you can keep to yourself, learn the controls and how to use your hands and intentions. And the janitor will also help you to learn a basic job, how to clean the ship. Another great job to start out as is a cargo tech. The cargo techs are basically assistants for the quartermaster. You're going to be moving crates, moving cargo, and the people there will definitely help you learn the game. Other great starting jobs would be chef, bartender, botany. The curator is a great low responsibility job that basically does absolutely nothing. No one expects anything of you, and anything extra you do for the station, people will generally appreciate, whether it's creating artwork, writing books, delivering newspapers. But really the curator is also a good starting job. The chaplain, I would say, avoid until you get pretty good at the controls with the game. The chaplain goes from 0 to 100 in terms of responsibility. If the station is pretty mellow, you have free reign to create your own religion, follow one that's already in the game, and dress up as any sort of crusader or heretic or pretend cult leader as you want. But the problem is, if your station and server all of a sudden has antagonists that range from cultists, or vampires, or heretics, or ghosts, or anything evil like that, the chaplain becomes a very important person, needed to help combat these evils. The clown is a good starting job, but you will get picked on, you will get beat up, so probably avoid that until you're better with controls. Here's a bonus tip, myself included. I am not a pro typist. I don't type that fast, and after a few games my hands get tired because I have nerve damage in them. You can actually use Microsoft speech recognition to type for you in this game if you have a microphone and Windows 10 or above, and it's very helpful for people with accessibility issues or people that don't want to type. You pretty much hold the Windows key and press H, and that'll pop up a little bar that you could speak in and then press enter to give that text to the crew. Very helpful little niche tip. The next tip is to focus on one job at a time. You should be playing one job for a few days to get the hang of it, to understand your department, the different tools and equipment within your department's walls. Every round will be a learning experience and you will learn more and more naturally. The controls, the tools, like I said. I would not jump around from different jobs when you first start playing. Stick to one job, learn some basics, and then you can move on to another job and learn some more basics. The best players at this game are not the people that spend 10,000 hours playing one job, but it is the people that have played every single role. And you learn every single role, and then you'll understand how the station works, what the responsibilities are of different departments, and also weaknesses and advantages that every department has, and skill sets from each department. And this is the next tip. Remember, everything is connected in this game. What I mean is skills you learn from one job you will use in other settings. The best players know every job like we mentioned before. Also, in the greater sense, the station is a symbiotic entity. One department is needed for others, like botany supplying the chef, or supplying meds in plant form to medbay. Cargo supplies the entire station. The miners supply cargo with resources and great funds to sell different items, gems. Chemists also supply medbay and space lube for the clowns. And when you understand that, like we talked about in the last tip, you will get better at the game. The next tip is explore every part of the station every round as much as possible. Some departments you're not able to leave as much and you want to stay within the safety of your walls, like botany for example. But dying in this game is a blessing sometimes when you're new. Use your ghost, fly around, explore the station, see what's going on. This could be very helpful for you. Some servers have built-in maps around, and there is also the wiki that you can find the map that you're playing. And every server has a wiki and every server has maps on the wiki. And this continues to the next tip about being a ghost is most servers have special spawns when you're a ghost. For example, when you're a ghost, you can either wait to be revived or cloned. But if you just want to go off by yourself and keep learning the controls in the game without anyone else interfering too much, it's best to use these special spawns. They are all pretty much isolated substations and sub-areas, but if you are an advanced player, you could definitely break out of them and make it back to the station. Some of these spawn scenarios you need to survive. Sometimes you're like a old abandoned cryo chamber and you wake up and it's like a desolate station or desolate little hydroponics area, and they're all kind of themed. Like the hydroponics one, obviously, you'll be doing a lot of botany. Sometimes you'll spawn as an alien living in lava land and you'll have a bunch of different things you could do. These are all extremely useful for learning the game as a new player in an isolated setting. Another tip is go with the flow. You might not understand what's going on as a new player. Maybe you get caught up in some type of scheme or gimmick and you're following the clown through maintenance. He wants to show you something. But every round is a new story and adventure. Antagonist will kill you, but if something is odd and you feel off, like maybe you were killed wrongly, if you're playing a low population server, always ask the admins. You could type to them in the admin section on the top right, and you can ask them, say, hey, I'm new at the game, someone killed me, was it a fair kill, yada yada yada, and they will look into it. That is their job. Put them to work. Also, this ties into using proper escalation. Kind of roleplay this as a real life on a space station. If somebody pranks you, maybe the clown throws a pie in your face, slips you with space lube, don't just start stabbing them. Maybe a fist fight is more appropriate. Self-defense can only be claimed if your life is in danger and someone is stabbing you. That would be proper escalation to fight back in a more aggressive manner. And then if someone grabs you, tries to move you around, or is choking you, the resist button is your best friend. Smash the resist button repeatedly. I'm not going to give too many tips and tricks on controls in this game. There are other videos about how to use your intentions, how to use your buttons wisely, but the resist button is definitely an important one. And then the final tip I have for you is someone is always going to be better at you in this game, especially at combat. Don't be afraid to ask questions and have people train you, but here's the trick with combat. I have a whole combat guide that you can watch to get a couple tricks up your sleeve. As you learn the game, you will learn more and more of these tricks, whether it's chemicals that you use to blind people, knock people out, choke people, heavy objects, grapples, throws, flashers, weapons. You can create weapons, use makeshift toolboxes as weapons. Depending on where you aim on the doll on the bottom right and your intention, you can blind people, stun them, trip them, knock the wind out of them. You would definitely want to experiment with this as you get better, and you will always fall back on these tricks in combat. Again, you're not playing this game to be the Call of Duty rank 1 best Space Station 13 player. That'll never happen. Again, there is always someone better at you, especially at combat. And those are all my tricks that I have come up with and tips. But I asked Reddit if they can give me any tips and tricks for you guys. And I want to read you some of these. These are all very good. We're going to just breeze through them. Pause and rewind where you see fit. This is from Casual Hot Dog 777. He says, right-click your jumpsuit and set your sensors to track your location. If something happens to you, a paramedic can find you if they're on. Read the server rules regarding violence. Every server is different. It's the quickest way to get in trouble. Get a feel for the culture too before seeking violence out. Try to always keep a crowbar on you at all times. If the power goes out, a crowbar can pry open unpowered doors that you have access to. Cargo is a great starter role, he says. It's simple, lets you see the different kinds of tools you could print. Medical is also a great role to move into when you're ready, as knowing how damage works in this game and how to heal it is crucial. Asking people questions and letting them know that you're new can help a lot. Sure, some people will straight up ignore you, but if you manage to find someone who will show you stuff, you will learn this game way faster. This game is really complex and lots of stuff is not in the wikis. If you find yourself in combat, disarm intent, the blue square, is very helpful on basically every codebase. You can completely 180 a fight or give you a chance to escape by clicking and disarming people. This is a really big one. I liked when he said this. Next one. Admins are not your friends. They are there to ban people and flex their ego. If one boinks you, a boink, that's the noise you hear, you over something you did wrong, you will get a sound effect and an admin message notification. Your response should be something akin to, sorry I didn't mean to / didn't know. Some servers have better admins than others, sure, but always remember the iron law of the internet about Jannies. They're not nice people. And for the most part, this can be true, especially if a admin's having a power trip one day. Most servers have a mentor help option. You can find it under the admin tab in the top right. This sends a message to the pool of online mentors to help you with your question. These are sometimes ignored though. I have used this and it has been very helpful, and if there is no mentor help option, don't be afraid to even ask an admin. They might be in a good mood and they might help you out. If something bad happens to you, try to yell for help over comms with your location. Every server has a radio and you can scream over the radio, but it's not going to help if you just scream, help maintenance. It's not very helpful, he says. Even something as vague as help Northwest maintenance can be the difference of living and getting tossed at an airlock. Learn how to hack doors as soon as possible. It's a crucial core skill that you will need to know at some point, guaranteed. Most servers you need a crowbar, screwdriver, and multi-tool to do it. Mining areas, space, and maintenance tunnels are all dangerous places to be. These are places where people disappear for good, so keep your wits about you when in them. The T button is the most powerful ability in the game. Talking to people has infinite ability to make things happen and get yourself out of trouble. Also, talk to others. You never know what misadventures you'll get into simply by being willing to engage with people. All very good tips from Casual Hot Dog 77. Maeve Sakashi says don't be a prick, basically. He uses the C word, the Australian colorful word. This guy says he's incompetent as crap and I still managed to do alright just by being polite. You can just talk a lot of people into doing stuff for you. Fledgy Go Fio says play on B Station. I'm fairly new and I've never had any serious problems with admins, even when doing something against the rules, and people are pretty chill. Generally speaking, everybody has their own favorite servers. My advice is stick to one codebase at first. I love playing TG now. I used to play Goon all the time. It's good to learn all the servers, but it will confuse you jumping around from server to server. Pick a server, learn the basics, and then you can move on to other servers. I love TG servers. Sybil is their low to medium RP one. Very good to play on there. Alien Mixim says, be warned, you can get banned for using e-slang like LOL or LMAO. I got banned for a day because of this once. Look You Know What's Up says learn key bindings and your controls. Using a mouse is nice, but you can go a lot quicker with keybinds. I like to download from GitHub the chosen server codebase and play around with job roles. There's no rush and you can learn at your own pace. What this guy is suggesting is to basically use Dream Daemon, download the entire server codebase off GitHub, not too hard to find, and basically host your own private server so it's just you by yourself. This can be good, but as a new player could be very daunting, and your other best bet is just to join a very low population server as another means around this. And maybe I will do a guide on how to host your own private server someday. Let me know in the comments down below if that's a good idea. Turbo Jelly says prepare to die a lot. You may die many times before trying to learn the game. You will get killed by random crew for no discernible reason, but you will get better and learn how not to die and become aware of what is happening around the station. Good advice nonetheless. All these tips you can find on the Reddit. This next guy is the final guy I'm going to read. It's a huge amount of tips from Dry Consideration 187, but a couple notable ones in here is, when dealing with other players, you should try to follow the improv rule of never saying no to any request or idea. Within reason, you don't have to let someone Borg you or throw you out of an airlock, but this not only gives you something to do, but will probably get you an ally or two for the rest of the shift. I've had people break me out of jail just because I humored them for a few minutes. You're also more likely to see some interesting stuff if you go along with people's dumb ideas. And that is about all. Like I said, there is 1,000,001 more tricks to this game. This is the most advanced game ever created as far as I'm concerned. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Are you going to play this game? What servers are you going to play on? Who brought you to this game? Was it a popular YouTuber? Was it Moist Critical? Was it Seth? Let me know below in the comments. Don't be afraid to hit that thumbs up and share this video with your friends. It helps me out tremendously. And thank you all for watching.